it became really important to me to lead by example and to be strong, to cry in public and fight in public at the same time, because the scumbags come out when you're in your worst. When you're in pain or when that's when they really try to take your block. So I had to come out the next day. And also the way I act is the way the people that look up to me or are influenced by me are gonna act. So they'd be like, yo, you folded so I could fold. Nah, I didn't fold, act accordingly. I can tell you how to act because I've been there. You know what I mean? So you can't ever expect somebody to be strong if you ain't acting strong. You can't have any expectation of anyone doing anything that you are not yourself doing or leading by example to do. That's why when people be like, yo, I'm teaching people how to be rich, I'll be like, are you rich? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna be a entrepreneur coach and you got a roommate? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't add up.
I say that all the time.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a scary world with that.
You know, so you have to be successful at something. That's why it always worries me in education. It's like these teachers are scared. They don't make their own dreams come true. They have a job. How can they teach anything but that? They're teaching control and fear because that's all they know. How you gonna teach a student how to be rich and you just was never rich? How you gonna teach them to be strong and fight and you don't?
I don't have time to be worried because I'm always, if I feel something's giving me anxiety, I go fix it.
Right.
Or else if I let it rest in me, you internalize it, it causes like sickness and cancer.
Yeah.
So that's another thing is, I laugh a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know me. My every day is therapy because I hold nothing. I come from a very extreme circumstance. I come like frontline street, like 142nd and Lenox. And if you did break any of those laws, you died or went to jail. So I didn't have too many choices. So I don't really know no different. You know what I mean? So I just applied everything I learned from my survival skills. And obviously I survived. And I came again from a very dangerous place. I survived it just by being honorable, playing the game right, being loyal. And I was like, yo, this game right here is not sustainable. Niggas die. Being honorable means you got to kill when they disrespect you. You got to go to jail and not, all that type of shit. That's not a game I want to play. I'm going to just take these ideals and apply them instead of to crack, apply it to music. Instead of to dust, apply it to fashion. It's just taking the same principles and applying it. And everything I've learned really has come from hustling. It's just flip it. Right. You buy something, you bottle it up, you sell it, you make double, and then you put that back and you keep doing it. So once you know that discipline, why do you need anybody? Like I never wanted anybody to hit me with no work. I never wanted that.
I care about people to a certain extent, but I can't care about you when you care about yourself. I can bring you awareness and I can leave you with that, but I'm up in the hills, bro. I don't see it all here. I choose to help because I love myself. See, unless you love yourself, you don't know how to love nobody else, period. Right. You can't tell me how to love if you don't love yourself. Just like you can't tell me how to get money if you ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me to be at peace if you're not at peace. You want to help everybody else, but you drowning. I don't understand it. Focus on yourself so that you can really help somebody. And that's the problem with people. They try to use that shit as an excuse. So many people, I say, what's your dreams? Oh, to help people, but you crack broke. Your dream should be not to take care of your children and make sure your girl is taken care of. That's your dream, so that they never have to work. And then you go help everybody with the money you made. Yeah. But it hurts you to help people.
And the one thing, the first question I ask is, what's your selfish dream? Selfish one. So in order to help someone, you can't hurt yourself to help anybody. To me, that's an oxymoron. So you have to make so much money that you can help all the people that you love. And if you're fighting for love, that should be a lot of people. But at the end of the day, it's about, to me, figuring out what exactly your clear dream is. And, I have a process. I work in dimensions and dreams don't cost $1. So why dream cheap? I don't want to dream to survive. I want to dream for the perfect world. So for example, you don't say, oh, I want a yacht, but I'm worried about the gas. You don't worry about the gas in your dream. It's a dream.
I love that, man.
It has to be unobstructed. But it has to be unobstructed. So sometimes you might dream around people and they're like, these are the reasons why you can't do it and blah, blah, blah. So then you start visualizing. So that messes that whole process up. So you have to also keep people around you that can dream, or at least aren't going to obstruct yours. After that, the next dimension is you got to put it on paper, And, that's another dimension. You put it on paper and it's clear. You can write it down in a couple of sentences, and other people that have the same dream can also read, identify with it, and you'll find that, you can come together. And then the next dimension is making it actually happen. And then the last dimension now is in the metaverse and the multiverse.
So, you know, it's always important to be one dimension ahead, regardless of whether industry is ready for it or not. What I saw in Kanye's face when he was helping us is something that people don't get. When you help people that deserves it, it gives you a really good feeling. It makes you feel better than anything. I saw him smiling and laughing, and I was like, he gets it now. Because that's how I feel every time I help somebody get where they got to go. And you know, I did it just because I wanted to, just because I was inspired, not because I was trying to exploit them, but just because I really liked who they were and what they were doing. And I want that to be a contagious energy, and I really hope that overall that's what Honor Up does. It makes Honor Up be the new wave, looking out for the people that looked out for you, doing the right thing.
Why is it so hard to bet on yourself for a lot of people? Like, what's the hardest? Why is that so hard for people to do? To pull up their own money and bet on themselves? When they see it really works out eventually.
Because when you put up your money, that's a struggle. And a lot of people don't just want to walk into a struggle. You know, it's like some people don't, even though they could fight, they're not really, you know, have the discipline to go to training camp and really focus and see it through. And like they don't want to walk into the struggle to win. You have to want to win means you have to embrace pain. You have to embrace struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to know that nothing's going to be easy in order to be the best at it in the world. You have to do it and push yourself where most people won't. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be up for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if you up for it, you could do it. But not everybody's up for it. Yeah. Not everybody really, conceptually they want it, but do they want the pain it takes to go get it?
Right.
And I have a lot, like there's people that like there's things about them I don't like, but I respect the fact that they're gonna fight to get what they want. The fight, and regardless of whether our perspective is different or not, that fight every time, whether it's wrong or right, the person that fights the hardest wins. You really believe in yourself and you work hard at it, you'll achieve it. The question is, am I ready to work so hard that I'm better than everyone else? You understand what I'm saying? And you have to answer that question within yourself. Am I ready to embrace all the pain that nobody else wants to embrace?
Yeah.
Am I ready to really work harder and do it so much that I'm better at it than everyone that does it?
Yeah.
It's really about the work ethic, really. It's a professional work ethic. You can't just be good at something. You have to be able to see things through and do the things that you don't enjoy. It's not really about the things that you enjoy. That's the easy part. It's the things you don't enjoy. That's the things that people usually shut down about. They just don't like it. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's a failure. Independence is priceless. It's just people that have never had it don't even understand. And I don't even expect them to, you know. And independence means usually putting up your own dough. You have to put up your own money. That's independence. If someone else is putting up the money, that's dependence. You understand what I'm saying? Now you gotta move when they say move. You have to ask. You have to be nice. You have to laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You know what I mean? You have to be around a racist and let them say little things, little cute things. A nerd square that wouldn't survive in the street. And independence is like being, like, let me tell you the perspective of someone that's independent. If there's like a wild dog and he has to literally eat the food he kills, he cannot eat unless he kills something that day. And then there's a dog that's tamed. He lives in a house, but he has 3 square meals a day. He got to do tricks. He gets petted. He gets kicked out. He gets beat. He got to get walked. He walks on a leash. When that dog comes in the room with the wild dog is laughing. He doesn't care that you're in a mansion. He doesn't care that you eat steak every day. He still thinks you're a herd. He knows he can take from you because he knows he has to kill every day to eat. You know what I mean? And that's a confidence. That's a rock star. And that's the one thing that I know I will never give up. You know, the ability to be that. Like, I laugh at anyone that's a caged dog, you know, walked on a leash, told when to eat, and does tricks and rolls over for a check. So when you deal with a bunch of people that are tamed and you're a wild animal, you get in a room, you laugh at them. You don't be scared of them. I always thought they were a joke because I had executed business under a different circumstances, so I always thought they were funny. And also because they were working for other people and I was putting up my own money, I didn't really respect as much. Like, you know, a boss wants to talk to another boss. So it made me know not to be corporate when I went into that world. I went very arrogantly. I didn't feel like, because I was always ahead of the game. I got my first deal at 19, you know what I mean? So I felt like the people that I was dealing with shouldn't even be talking to me a certain way, even telling me was cool because they were nerdy to me. What we were leveraging in that point was cool. I was selling music, swag. I was coming from the authentic street like in the 80s, so it wasn't nothing that you could tell me. And then I had a mind because I was educated, so I saw them trying to trick me into believing I was dumber than I was. So for that, I was a beast. It was just like it was a joke. You know what I mean? So I did it. We just did it on our own.
So you took it personally.
But
you were offended. I mean, it sounds like you were offended to me.
I'm passionate about everything I'm doing. This is about creative business.
Okay.
So, of course, when someone disrespects your intellect, you take it personal. I'm a man. I got testosterone for sure.
Sure.
But that's part of being an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? But also, I'm coming from a place where I had to fight for my real estate and prove that you shouldn't have it. So certain kinds of people can never talk to me a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? Just because they weren't men like I was men. Again, they weren't putting up their own money. They didn't have the cool, and they weren't doing what I was doing. It was like I knew always my worth at all times, and I always knew what my brain was capable of doing. People were just slaves to pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everyone does one thing, then everybody else wants to do it. And I'm a guy that never wants to, I never ever wanted to look like everybody else. Right. So my thing is, I gotta stand out. I gotta be different. Like, you've seen that people have tried every way they can to discredit everything about me, from my pocket to my girls to everything. You know what I'm saying? To my family, like everything. And you see that when I'm actually doing things that are good, people try to say I'm doing things that are bad. But at the end of the day, I haven't had to come outside.
Right.
I haven't had to come out of pocket and do something that was kind of like, against what my morals and my principles are. I've been able to maintain being my own boss, sustain a certain kind of lifestyle, and all because my work is good. So if your work is good and you're honorable, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. You got to keep your head down and move forward, because all the negativity is all a test to see if it will distract you. Some people try to dumb you down as a distraction just because they just don't want to work. People are so scared of thinking and so scared of action. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm about. I'm about thinking things through and action. They don't have the wherewithal to see their ideas into fruition and to be tangible and to be real. They don't think that getting to where they want to go is going to be difficult.
How difficult is it really?
Game.
It's huge.
It's boxing. It's getting punched in the face to win.
Yeah.
That's what it is. To practice, you hitting that bag, but you getting hit, like you got to spar to get where you got to go. So you're going to feel broke. You're going to have to feel anxiety. And if that doesn't make you feel comfortable, then it's going to be hard to be an entrepreneur. But you got to know when you get in the game that you're going to get tackled. You got to get up. You got to work wounded. You got to stay positive, and you got to care about your other people sometimes, most of the times, before you care about yourself. You have to have a point of view, and you have to have a voice, and you have to be unapologetic. And when you do that, you don't stand in the crowd, because most people just want to fit in. Just being different is a win in this world. Everyone only feels confident in the crowd. So when someone does stand out, it's different. I only like to be around cool people. I've always architected my bubble. I only want to be around cool opinion leaders, like-minded people. And I filter and I edit people. I'm not that dude that says, if you do this, this will happen, and then it doesn't happen. You're just sitting around waiting. You do the right thing. In my world, you do the right thing. Like, if his dream was literally to sit and play his album for Kanye, I watched his dream come true.
Which it was.
And it happened in a week only because he did the right thing.
Right.
Yeah. If his dream, like he said, his dream is to sit here and do an interview, that happened because he listened. Respect will make your dreams come true. And respect is not convenient. It's not when it feels good. It's when it makes you uncomfortable. When, someone feels like, damn, I don't agree with him, but because I respect him, I'm going to do what he says anyway. That's respect. And I'm not going to say a word about it. Hey, nerds, people that aren't strong, control, people that are strong, be like, whatever, you jump in front of me, I fight. But people that are weak, they have to be strategic about how they control. So brain controls muscle. And that's what's been happening. We've been controlled. We've been programmed to hate each other, kill each other, be happy to have a job, happy to work for someone else, and only happy to be able to take care of yourself. So everybody comes from a place of self-preservation. Everyone's always worried about themselves. And the purpose of love is to love people before you love yourself. But now, look at the way the system is set up. In school, they take your kids from you, and then they tell you, unless you go to college, and this is, the majority of the world, and the majority of the world is the working class. Unless you go to college, which you can't afford, unless you get a loan to go to college, you've done something wrong. So you go to college, you get that loan, and in order to pay off the loan, you got to get a job you don't want. And you still desperate. And in order to buy that house, because you paid that loan, you ain't got no cash. Now you got to get another loan to get the house.
And so you always have to be working from backwards. You always have to be worried about yourself. And what I find when I'm around desperate people is they're all right with yo, I got to do what I got to do to eat. They sometimes justify doing things that are not honorable to survive. So, you know, everyone's always in a place of fear, a place of backpedaling and self-preservation, and that's the problem. The test is to love others before you love yourself, and that's what a real boss does. The test is to think about the future, not the present. Your present is only dictated by what you did in your past. So you got to start planning. It's chess, not checkers. Turn a loss into a learning experience. Do it again until you get it right, period. You never did anything right the first time. Mm-hmm. Practice makes perfect. It's just like you ain't gonna make a muscle the first time you pick up a barbell. Right. You gotta do that shit and do it for a while. Then your blood pumps and then you strong. Go get strong, pull your skirt up. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna be nice about it. I'm sick of that shit. Everybody's depressed because they're trying to fit into a puzzle. They're trying to be a circle and a square. And you're told what to do, and you're told what to eat, and you're told what's good and bad, and what the perspective of success is. Success is love. Success is your family. Success is how much you laugh. I don't care how much money you got in the bank. If you got a crooked smile, if your people around you don't want to be around, your breath stinks and all that other shit, you're broke. Period. Right. You're broke. If you have nothing to fight for, you're broke. If you have nothing to love, you broke. Period. You bit with the entrepreneur bug, you're always gonna want more. But self-care is important. Make sure you get some sleep. And make sure you celebrate yourself. And make sure you're enjoying yourself.
I never think I know enough, but I've never been intimidated by any conversation as it relates to business ever. Mm-hmm. You know, I know that when I start a business, I've just started. I don't have experience in it. Yeah. So, you know, and then also the way I usually approach it is usually a little unorthodox. So there's never any traditional way that I'm dealing with something. So I'm always putting myself in a place, let's say, uncomfortable because I'm not used to it. But that's what comes with, you know, starting something the first time. Yeah. The second and third. I've never been intimidated by anyone. I always look forward to the smoke. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what I want. You know, it's not you try to play me because I'm black. I want you to try that. Exactly. I want you to think smarter than me, and I know I'm so much smarter than you. Right. And probably could snap your nose off your face. You know what I'm saying? So I know, you know, like it's like I'm brains and brawn. At least, you know, the brawn is just when I have to be to protect myself. But the brain is what they don't anticipate. Pause. They're more scared of the brain than the brawn. I always ask the why questions. Right. I ask questions all day. Right. Yeah. I'm very transparent. I never pretend I'm smarter than I am. Right. See, the one thing you have to understand is when you're stupid, you cannot pretend you're smart in a smart room. But when you're smart, you can pretend you're stupid.
It's a mind state. Yeah, it's a mind state. It's a tough mind state.
It depends on what you value as wealth. Right. Like if you value your freedom and your happiness as ultimate wealth, or if you value perception and physical things as ultimate wealth, you're either gonna, like, physical things is temporary, so you're gonna hustle for the temporary, or you're gonna hustle for the forever. Your soul is forever. Absolutely. You know, you don't want to cash that out. You know what I'm saying? For temporary things, for physical. You know what I mean? I think that's the ultimate test. It's like, yo, are you gonna really be wealthy? Meaning, are you gonna be happy, or are you gonna look happy? You understand? You're gonna worry about how people see you and buying physical things that make you look better than you are, or do you really want to really feel good?
So I've always seen how my influence has been on the rest of the world from day one. And it still is like that. People still, you know, take what I do and they're influenced by it. That's why I think at this point in my life, at 46, it's important to do things that are positive. So if people are going to emulate what I'm doing, they're emulating something positive, like eating healthy, like taking care of yourself, like being good to women and taking care of your woman, being a good dad, like loving your children. Like, to me, that's ultimate wealth.